Alrighty, CNT125, we're working on our network management lab. We just got done using our TFTP server to save all of our configs. We're now going to take a look at our Snmp protocol. So to do that, I'm actually going to put a hub and a sniffer over here. So I'm going to go to my end devices. I'm going to grab a sniffer out of here. I'm going to put it on the screen to make it handy. And then under my network devices, I'm going to go to hubs down here, and I'm just going to do a packet tracer hub. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to connect the PC to the hub, the switch to the hub, and then the sniffer to the hub. That way the sniffer is picking up all packets that are rolling through it. So now that I have those on here, I'm going to remove the patch cable from here. I'm going to use the straight through between the PC and the hub, and then I'm going to use crossovers for all the other connections. Okay, so let's just plain remove this connection right there. We're going to use a straight through to go from the PC into the hub. It does not matter which port. And I'm going to use a crossover from the sniffer, Ethernet 0, to the hub. Again, it does not matter which port on there, as long as I'm using Ethernet 0 here. I'm reminding you there. And then I need to make sure I'm using a crossover from here into the Fast Ethernet 01, the one port we were using previously. All right, so now I have a sniffer in here. All the traffic going from the PC to the switch into the network is going to get replicated out to the sniffer so we can see. Let's open the sniffer, and we only want to see the Snmp protocol. So we're going to open the sniffer, go to GUI, make sure it's on port 0. I'm going to show no filters. I'm going to edit filters that I'm only seeing under miscellaneous Snmp. That's the only one I want to see. I'll clear all the filters. I have Snmp showing. That's the only thing I want to see. I just want to see that protocol on my network. Now, in real life, we would have a network management station that would be talking to our routers and switches, gathering information and pulling it back and saving it. And I would also have the routers and switches set up to be passing information to the management station. Packet Tracer does not have all that functionality in, but it has the basics. So since we've configured the switches and routers to be part of an Snmp community, we can actually, on our PC, use this MIB browser, management information-based browser, and request information from our routers and switches. So it's kind of playing the part of our management station. Real basic, but it's playing the part. So we are opening that, and we're going to configure it, and we're going to start requesting information from our switches and routers. Alrighty, so I've opened that PC. Again, I've opened this PC over here. I've gone to the desktop. I'm opening the MIB browser, and I'm going to plug a couple things in. In the address bar, I'm going to put the IP address of switch 1. So 192.168. And my switch 1 in this case is 128.2. Get that address from your map. Okay. Now that I've done that, I'm going to click the advanced, and I'm going to go for read community public. That's the name we used. Write community public. I'm plugging those names in. I'll say OK. We're now going to select, and I might want to make this a little larger so we can see a little bit better here. There we go. Let me try this right here. I'm going to get a specific OID that I'm going to use to get information from my switch. So I'm going to open the MIB tree. I'm going to do a layer 2 switch, MIB, ISO, org, DOD, internet, management, MIB2, system, keep going. We need system name. So I might need to make this a little wider here. I want to make that a little wider there. There we go. And we want system name. Now that I've actually highlighted that system name, there we go, the OID shows up. Okay. Now that is a number that we can use to talk to the switch saying, hey, can you give me your system name? So if I click the go button, it's going to request that information from the switch, and it'll give me that information. It says, hey, my name is Snmp S1. Now that doesn't seem all that exciting, but remember, our management station in this case is requesting the information from the switch, and the switch is providing it. We're not having anything else happen. The switch is actually providing that information to us. So again, this is kind of the polling part of network management. Let's do another one. Let's find the interface table and find the interface descriptions. So we're going to back up a little bit. And in here, we're doing ISO org DoD Internet Management, MIB2, and we want to do interfaces. After we do interfaces, we're going to do if table, if entry, and then we'll say if description, interface description. Again, there's the OID for it. I'm going to click go, and it's going to request that information from the switch, and it's going to show that to me. These are all the interfaces that this switch has. Fast Ethernet 024, Gigabit 01, Gigabit 02. These are all the interfaces that it has. Okay? So again, that is actually requesting information from the switch and pulling it back to, in this case, the management station. Well, now that we've done a couple of requests, I should actually see some data on my packet sniffer. Well, before we do that, let's do the same thing to one of our routers. Okay, so I'm going to go up here now. I can close this out if I want to. I can open the web MIB browser again. Here, I'm going to plug in the address of my router, R1. In this case, it's 128.1. I'm going to click Advanced, make sure I still have public in here and public here. I'll say OK. Under MIB tree, we're going to do router standard MIBs, ISO, org, DoD, Internet, Management, MIB2, and in this time through, we're going to do system and system name. So do system, and I might need to slide this over a little bit, system name. There's the OID for it, and I'm going to say go, and it's going to come back with, hey, my name is Snmp R1. Again, we're pulling this device saying, what are you? Let's also do one for interface description on this guy as well. So we'll back out to interface, interface table, interface entry, interface description, meaning, hey, what interfaces do you have? I'll say go, and it's going to come up with Gigabit 00, 01, 02, 000, 010. Those are even the fiber modules that we added in. So it's responding with, hey, those are the interfaces I have. Let's look at the routing table on this guy as well. So let's go back a little bit. And in this one, it's going to be under IP routing table. So let's back a little bit. IP routing table entry. And then here we're saying IP route destination. This should be the destination networks that it knows about. So let's do a go. Hey, here is the 32, 64, 96, 128, 160, 192. There is my routing table network subnets that I've requested from, with this MIB poll, if you will. So this is the kind of thing that your network management station is doing to get information from your devices, and that these routers and switches are programmed, or we've enabled the Snmp entity to provide that information back to the management station. Now that we've done that, let's look at the Snmp traffic that has moved through. So I'm going to close my MIB browser out. Let's open my sniffer, and I see a whole bunch of Snmp traffic here. Well, let's pick one of these. I'm going to try to make this a little bit larger. Here's my Ethernet. Here's my IP. The source in this is 128.10. Destination is 128.2. So this is when we were going to the switch. If I scroll a little bit further, I'll see source and destination port 161. Yep, that is your Snmp port number. Down here I see version 1 public, community of public. And then here, this is more general. These are like general header fields. But this is when I've requested information from the switch. Here's more from the switch. Actually, this is the information coming back from the switch back to our PC. There's the community public, etc. I'll jump down here a few more. This is us going from router back to us. When we request information from the router's passing it back to us. Again, 161 on our port number for UDP. And then here's the Snmp information coming back from the router. So there I'm seeing some of my Snmp traffic. And again, Ethernet, IP, UDP. SNMP is using UDP. And then here's my SNMP header right there. What I want you to do before you get too much further is do another screenshot showing your SNMP packet. I want to know that you looked at your SNMP header here, saw these SNMP packets, and looked at your SNMP header. So again, use your snipping tool, or in this case on my Mac, I'm using Command-Shift-4 to get my little crosshairs. And I'm just going to grab a little screenshot of this window so that I show that I'm looking at my SNMP packets and my SNMP header. That way I know you've actually looked at this. On my desktop, I'll rename that SNMP packet so I have it for submission to D2L. Alrighty, the only thing left will be here. I'm going to gather up my stuff to submit. I do have a config file from S1 that I created. I have one from R1, so I'll save those two and submit them. The other routers and switches were basically copies of that text file, so I just want to see the original ones. I want to see the routing table. I want to see the screenshot of the TFTP server and the screenshot of your SNMP packet. And then your network management questions. Oh, and I've forgotten here, I'm going to update this after I do this podcast. I forgot to include, I want to see your packet tracer file as well. I will have this in here in the directions by the time you see this. I will have a thing in here that I want to see your packet tracer file as well. So make sure you're saving your packet tracer file, save as. If you didn't, give it a name like Brown. You can even do SNMP Lab if you want to. SNMP Lab packet tracer, and make sure you're saving that for submission too. In case there's an issue, I can pull up your packet tracer file. So again, by the time you see this, I will have that in there, but make sure you save your packet tracer file as well. And that is your network management lab.